Welcome back for a new Top 5 Most playlist. This time we're going a bit more modern, current day. We are checking out, in my opinion, consider this 5 must recommendation plays for the PS5. So, with that said, first up is actually an indie game I highly recommend. If you are interested in something a little different than tradition, coming in first at number 5 is the Sorrow Virus, a short story. This is an indie game. It is a puzzle game mixed with horror and suspense. So if you want to play a puzzle game, but not your traditional. Now, I would probably recommend getting this digital, as physical you can only get through limited run. So keep that in mind. Though you might be able to find reasonable, but I'd recommend digital, far more affordable. But I also recommend checking it out if you like puzzle games, plus you like stuff with horror elements to it. And you want some different, and you want to support indie devs. I do highly recommend checking this one out. It is a very overlooked game. Speaking as a big avid fan of puzzle games myself. Coming in at number 4 is an absolute must, in my opinion, especially if you like roguelike games and you really like dark horror and science fiction mixed. Basically, if you're a fan of the early era of the Alien films, you're definitely going to like Returnal. It is an absolute top tier roguelike done by more AAA by Sony directly, but the fact that it is a very challenging game, so like many roguelikes out there, expect a good challenge, but if you like a dark setting, very grim, and you're a big fan of like both sci-fi and horror, Returnal is a definite must try. And it is very affordable. You can find this easily at GameStop or anywhere very cheap. So it's a definite good one. Coming at number 3, I don't know. I know this might be somewhat controversial, but at 3, in my opinion, is Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Ultimate, of course, includes all the DLC and stuff, plus upgraded, better overall visuals. Overall, the frame rate played really good even on PS4, but like the online is better on, and the overall resolution and everything is better in this version of the game. Plus, all the DLC is great, and I will argue that including the Aftermath DLC, I think Mortal Kombat 11 is my favorite NetherRealm Studios story mode, at least for me personally. It is easily my favorite of the Mortal Kombat games as a whole. When you include the Aftermath story, it surpasses even top tier story modes like Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat, or I would say, excluding the DLC, I think the base story, to be fair, of Mortal Kombat 1 is refreshing and different. But also, I am a big avid fan of course, Injustice storyline, Injustice 1 and Injustice 2. So, I'm a big fan in general of this franchise, as I did many years ago, a 20 plus minute video just talking about the mythology of the Mortal Kombat universe. So, if you're at all ever curious, check that out. But also, you have in total 37 characters, great guest characters. I mean, Robocop was interesting, Terminator, Rambo, for me though, Joker and Spawn really made it for me. Especially Spawn, because he's S tier when it comes to ghosts or guest characters. And the story mode is great, and I like a lot of elements to it, especially those Shao Kahn's play style. Plus, it was nice to get see friendships back. Coming in at number 2 technically involved in Bethesda with Tango Gameworks, of course, started by a alumni original from, of course, the great Capcom, and now returning to Capcom, which is kind of crazy, but this is a first-person viewpoint style game. Looks like sort of a shooter, but instead you're using basically different types of magical abilities. It very much feels like a horror game of sorts mixed with action in first person. If you're looking for a unique, refreshing game in first person view, I highly recommend Ghostwire Tokyo. It is definitely very different from many other games out there, that is for sure. You're not going to mistake this for another game. I haven't really played any games quite like this before. But coming in number one, I recommend highly the most is arguably Lies of P, which basically is, of course, a Souls style game, but with a Pinocchio twist and also takes place in a steampunk setting. And speaking as an avid fan and lover of steampunk, needless to say, I highly recommend this. And I've done some gameplay back in the past of this game from the original beta and stuff. I still need to actually do a full recorded playthrough. As I have done a playthrough, just didn't record the first time. But with that said, like, visually it is definitely good looking, and I like the unique twists and stuff to this from the Souls formula, and the art design is top tier. And the fact this was not made by a AAA studio is insane. It puts most AAA studios to shame graphically, performance, gameplay mechanics, like all around. I would actually argue elements of this remind me more of Bloodborne than actual Dark Souls. So just with that said, if you're curious to watch a full playthrough or more gameplay, I recommend checking out Maximilian Dude's playthrough of Lies of P. It was my... It ended up in my top 5 favorite games the year it came out easily. With that said, I'll see y'all next time and stay safe. Hopefully enjoyed the Resident Evil 2 music in the background.